It's the time for the news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage, eaglemortgagecompany.com. Whether you stop by the office at 114th and Dodge or interface with them online, Eagle Mortgage does an outstanding job of taking care of you when you're getting ready to buy a house. For most people, buying a house is about the most expensive thing they do, and it's stressful and it's consequential. So you want to have a good lending broker on your side. That's exactly what Eagle Mortgage does. They are not a bank. As a mortgage broker, they get to shop a variety of banks on your behalf. So they'll sit down with you, find out what works best for you, and match you up with a great loan. Doesn't matter whether you're going conventional, FHA, VA, or one of the others, talk to Eagle Mortgage. They'll take good care of you. eaglemortgagecompany.com. Well, Trenton, on Monday, Woodbury Corp will have a groundbreaking ceremony for the Crossroads Mall and more Crossroads Development, I should say. It used to be a mall. More specifically, the groundbreaking will be for Gamescape by Cinemark, an entertainment venue, part of the Cinemark Theaters chain. This will be the first occupant of the Crossroads development northwest of 72nd and Dodge. We've talked about that before. Interestingly, though, at that event, Woodbury is going to unveil the new logo and the property branding for the Crossroads. I'm hoping we get to see a new version of that hideous monument sign that is on the corner that most of the lights are not working.
There must be a reason that they leave it in case they can't put it back up. But I agree with you on that. And, it just seems like yesterday that Frank Krejci bought the whole place for like $10 million. Or like 15 years.
It was not yesterday. But as we've well documented on this show, so many different things have happened over those 15 years, different people involved with it, the death of Frank Krejci, the man who had owned it. And so it's been a long ways coming, but a lot of people, both privately and publicly, have worked so hard to get to that point. So it's exciting to see that groundbreaking taking place on Monday. Well, the Nebraska State Office Building downtown at 1313 Farnham Street is officially listed for sale. Now, the Nebraska Department of Administrative Services is responsible for doing that. They had been considering selling it for a while. There was an article that came out in Nebraska Examiner earlier this year talking about it, and in the article, some state senators were quoted saying, hey, is this really a good idea? But the people from the Administrative Services Department said, this is an area of high interest, and we believe the building could go for a nice price. It is a 180,000 square foot building. It has 400 parking spaces underneath it. Now, I don't want to be critical because I'm sure back in the late 70s, there was an architect who worked very hard on that building and was very proud of his or her work. But I am going to say it is perhaps my most hated building in the city of Omaha.
News at gromha.com for Jeff Beals.
And here's why. Because, first of all, it's only 3 stories, and it either looks like a prison or a high school. Some would say that's kind of the same thing. At any rate, it's only
News
3 stories.
News at gromha.com.
And here's the real reason why I hate it. In order to build it, they tore down an 18-story building that was constructed in 1912. It was the Woodman of the World building before the Woodman Tower. And upon its construction was the tallest building between Chicago and San Francisco. And we tore it down to build a prison, high school, 3-story state office building. So the only reason you would sell that building likely would be for redevelopment. It is on the streetcar line. It is right across the street from Mutual. So if, and we hope if, there is someone who wants to put something special there, that would be great news.
I wonder if they can keep those 400 parking stalls. So they're all underground, right?
Yeah, underneath. Well, actually, I take that back. There is parking underneath the building, but it comes with a 400-stall garage across the street. But it's I've never been underneath the building, but I understand there's quite a bit of parking underneath. But I don't know, how would you tear down a building and save the parking underneath?
You'd like to go vertical, obviously. So they don't need the government offices, they're saying?
No, they do. They would. The plan would be to relocate those state office workers somewhere else in Omaha. Presumably, they would lease space. I mean,
there's plenty of it.
Yeah, there's plenty of space even in the downtown area where the state.
Or they could make a deal where they get commensurate rent and they could stay in part of the building that gets rebuilt.
Yeah, that's possible.
tenants.
Although, where would they go during the construction? Just get temporary space
No,
elsewhere
just hang out in
downtown?
the park.
There are several hundred of them down there, I believe, that work out of the building. So that could be
It's a
could
big
be a
park,
bit of an
90
issue.
acres.
But, I think, folks, get ready for more and more talk like this, because that building, as I mentioned earlier, is on the streetcar line. And the whole reason, or one of the biggest reasons why we're doing that thing, is to enhance real estate development and create more value in the urban core. So that's probably going to be a serious target. We'll see what happens in that area. So speaking of big projects, in Council Bluffs, there has been a project underway that is secret. It is called Project Lola. If you're a regular listener, you know a lot of times when the economic development people are working with a big project, they want to keep things secret for a variety of quite legitimate reasons. Project Lola, planned for Council Bluffs, it is going to be smaller than originally anticipated. The Council Bluffs City Council last year approved a 450,000 square foot data center building that would be 80 feet tall for this Project Lola. That was to be constructed on a little bit of farmland that is between Iowa Western Community College and Interstate 80, south of Canesville Boulevard. Well, now they've downgraded it to 285,000 square feet and 36 feet tall. Still a very substantial building, but not quite as big as it had been. We've been hearing some intel, though, that might be only one of a handful or more of data centers that are actively looking in the Council Bluffs part of the metro area and surrounding parts. So Council Bluffs seems to be in play right now for new data centers.
And I think that's great. And we have relatively inexpensive utilities and ground and city services. They don't employ a ton of employees, but certainly for many years they employ a lot of construction workers.
Next up, there is a nonprofit in Lincoln that is known as The Bay, B-A-Y, The Bay. It's planning an Omaha location in Benson. This is a free or pay-as-you-go services for youth to participate in skateboarding, art, fashion, music. They have workforce training and career exploration services. Down in Lincoln, they're inside a 20,000 square foot warehouse where they have an indoor skate park and community and office space. The Omaha location is going to be an adaptive reuse of a 3-story, 34,000 square foot warehouse in Benson. The exact address is 6120 Military Avenue. The first floor will have an indoor skate park with street skating elements. I don't know what it says, street skating elements and a vert. I don't know what the hell that is, but I bet a vert looks cool.
I think I'm going to avert it.
The second and third floors will feature classrooms, office space, a performance stage, fashion room, sound production studio, and e-sports room. The project site is currently under consideration for rezoning to make this possible. Sounds like a cool thing, and neat to see more and more of these types of things going into areas like Benson.
Pay-as-you-go insurance, medical insurance for the skateboard park.
I am definitely not in charge of that, so I'm sure whoever is has got it under control. And finally, the Military Avenue and Hamilton Street intersection on the near north side is coming alive with development. On the northeast corner, the Papio NRD has started construction on kind of a trailhead entrance to the Beltline Trail, and that's coming along quite nicely. It's supposed to be completed by October of this year. And then across the street, plans call for the redevelopment of the long vacant Johnson Sash and Door building. The exact address is 1412 Military Avenue. That company closed permanently back in 2018 and went before the planning board this week. There will be the structure will be transformed into a mixed-use building with ground floor commercial space and 8 residential units on the second floor. So good to see redevelopment coming to that area.
It seems like the construction, which is not inexpensive these days, hasn't really slowed development. Now, a lot of these projects that are getting TIF and a lot of stuff that are downtown, maybe they benefit from other things, but I'm just glad that the construction and redevelopment continues.
And my guess, a lot of that is kind of a demand thing. If the population is growing like it sure appears lately that it has been. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about how a hottest housing market, and we saw some pretty good population growth in the numbers from 2023 to 2024 that came out earlier this year. You got to put these people somewhere. So it could just be demand driven.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.